What's up everybody? It's Barry with Vulcan Glass Art Studio, and today's video is going to be the first in our Intro to Hollow Working series, the Color Wrap Jar. As always, all the tools and glass that you need for this project are going to be on the screen, so like the video, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do when we're making our jar is section off the size piece of glass that we want to use. I already have a point pulled over here on this one. However, this can be done from a blank tube as well. So you want to heat this up, and we're looking at about a 3 to 4 inch point for this particular project. Once it starts to get starts to move real nice, we're going to take it out of the flame and kind of let gravity pull it down. Now that our point has stopped moving, we'll go ahead and melt off this end here. And then pop a hole. And set that aside for one of your later projects. So now first we want to clean up the end of this here. And we're going to be doing a technique called wrapping. And that basically means that I'm going to be wrapping color around this piece. So the first thing we're going to do is you want to preheat your blank. Get it up to 1,000 degrees, at least. You want it to be hot enough for glass to stick to it, but you don't want it to move, so you don't want it to be like orange or anything. Once it's nice and preheated, you're going to heat the tip of this rod. Get it nice and hot, ready to go. And then we're going to touch it to the tip, rotate your left hand, your blank, either direction, doesn't make any difference, and hold the thick part of your color rod in the flame, kind of rotating it back and forth to get a nice stringer. And you just keep rotating your left hand while rocking your right hand back and forth in the flame. See how it just pulls the color on there like that? When you want to flame cut it, rotate a little bit faster and bring this closer to the flame, it'll flame cut. I want to lay down 2 layers of this particular color. So I want to make sure this whole thing is hot. If your piece is not hot, when you put it back into the flame, a lot of your stringers will pop off in little rings. So same process, just do it again. Maintaining your heat base on this piece, especially in these early stages, is incredibly important. Good. So now, take your second color, and we're going to do that right along the outside. Same thing, make sure your piece is nice and preheated. Get the tip of that color nice and hot. Touch it to the tip and rotate. And then keep that color in the flame, rocking it back and forth as you rotate your left hand. And then bring it in and flame cut. Alright. So now, you have all of your color on your piece. So first, there's usually going to be a big thick spot, kind of right on the tip of your piece. You want to pull that off. So get it nice and hot. Grab it and pull it down. And now you want to gather this entire thing up. So holding it at a slight downward angle like that will help. And just hold it in the flame and rotate. And take your time doing this. This process can take a while. Your end goal is to get rid of all of the texture on the piece so that you're ready to blow it out and it's nice and even. Okay, so now you can see everything's pretty much melted in. So now we're going to get it, and it's okay if there's a little bit of this part right here that's not completely melted in. We are going to melt that in the next step. So you want to get your piece nice and hot. You're going to hold it at a slightly upward angle like that, and then blow into it. And that's kind of the shape that you're looking for. Now you're going to put a bottom on this. So you want to heat just the very bottom, and then we're going to stamp it on our graphite. Next step is not 100% necessary, but if there's a little cup, which there should be, you want to heat the rim and press it again, and that will help it stabilize so that it sits proper. Now you're going to take your 6mm clear rod. You're going to add a handle to the bottom. We're going to do a cold seal and make sure that it is nice and centered. Now we're going to heat this section right before the color hits the clear. And this is the point in time when you are able to melt in all of those little ridges that were at the top that you weren't able to get earlier. Don't be afraid to adjust your flame from time to time. If you need something bigger, make it bigger. If you need something smaller, make it smaller. So first you want to melt those ridges in completely, and then we're going to do a slight pull. And you're not heating just the ridges. You also want to get the top of the bubble that was your jar a little bit warm. Now everything is melted in. You want to pull while you're rotating, so you have a little bit of a neck. You don't want that neck to be super thin, and it does not need to be super long. So now it's time to separate your piece. You want to hit that spot right where the color meets the clear. You're going to heat it up until it's really able to move, and then you're going to pull and blow at the same time, which is going to cause the glass to get incredibly thin. And that's what we're going to use to pop it open and then flame cut the clear off of your piece. Nice and hot, pull and blow. See how it got real thin like that? Now we'll pop it open. Just like that. And then flame cut. Turn your big flame back on. You just kind of rotate and pull. And the flame cuts off like that. Now you're going to want to clean this up. To do that, take your 4mm rod, heat along the rim, and you're going to rotate this as you go along the edge. Pull it off, hit the water, and you just do that all the way around the piece, and you'll get a nice even edge. Just like that. So now we're going to add a lip wrap. Lip wrap looks good, but it also stabilizes that thin glass, because as you tore all that off, your glass got a little bit thinner around the rim of this piece. So in order to get a nice good looking rim, we're going to add a lip wrap. All you're doing is heating up a section and laying it along the edge, relatively thick, but the main thing is you want it to be consistent. You want the thickness of your lip wrap to be even all the way through the piece, all the way around the edge. And then flame cut it. You see what I did is I pull it into a stringer, and as I'm going around and flame cut, that will help you not have this discernible bump that is the edge where the two seams meet. Now we're going to heat this up, take our reamer, pretty much any reamer will do, whichever one's your favorite, and the reamer is going to stay still, the piece is going to go on it and rotate. The reamer does not move, just the piece, and I change the angle of the piece to change the size of the hole and the angle of my lip. So we get it nice and hot, reamer stays still, piece rotates, and pops open just like that. For fun, we're going to go ahead and add some dots, often just called art marks. This is also what you generally use if you're trying to cover it up, like if there's a crack that you did and then you're fixing it, you'll put dots over it to make it not look as bad. I'm not saying that's something you recommend you do. I'm just saying that it can be done. Alright, so we put 3 little dots on the side. Make sure you melt those in. And if you're brave, you can go down and immediately take off the handle, but I think it's usually wiser to toss it in the kiln for a little bit and let it heat up, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Once your piece comes out of the kiln, I'm going to go ahead and grab it. If this was a good cold seal, that should pop right off. Set that to the side. Make sure you get rid of your cold mark that's going to be on the inside of the little cup on the bottom of your piece. Take the time to get rid of it because it'll be sharp. And there you have your jar. Go ahead and toss that in the kiln, and you're on to the next one. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and then if you want to support the channel further, check us out on Patreon at Vulcan Glass TV. I'll see you in the next one.